and fast at Berrington Loft that night Newcastle were here in the Autumn Trophy. There was no floodlights, so they decided to try and bring out cars with the headlights on the centre green to shine up the track. It was a good idea in theory really. I suppose really it was a question of trying anything. And the riders were prepared to give it a go and see how it worked. They got about 20 cars out on the centre green. There you'll see one or two of them being positioned, with clerk of the course Jim Loudon just supervising. And his other duties as a rallycross marshal. So we were up to heat 7 and Berwick were only leading 20-15. It wasn't too bad at that stage, the light was reasonable, but it was obvious they were on a loser. Well, that run wasn't too bad. You could see the riders, but it was getting worse by the minute. But I suppose when you're in a situation like we were that night, you try anything. And the cars seemed a possibility, but obviously you've got to take into account that the headlights were dazzling the riders as they came round, and there were shadows in between the cars. It doesn't look too bad overhead, does it? But I can assure you, it was pretty dark out there. There's a deputation of riders coming out just to have a look at things, and you'll see how quickly it's come in over the borderline country. About 10 cars there, approximately, and the same at the other end. The ironic thing was we had the fairy lights over the centre green, but we had no floodlights. Newcastle's manager Tom Graham in the centre there, with the Berwick deputation. Referee that night was Will Hunter of Cramlington, and he wasn't happy with it at all. And really the buck stopped with him as far as the safety of the riders were concerned. I think generally most of the riders weren't happy to go on. As you can see from that shot there, it's pretty gloomy. I suppose at the end of the day, a decision had to be made, and that decision was to abandon the meeting. Berwick were only leading by 2 points, but the score stood, and they took that to Newcastle for the second leg of that Autumn Trophy. And of course they won it. They won the meeting at Newcastle, and they won the trophy overall in aggregate. Alan Rivet just talking to David Barge there. So that was it. No Speedway after heat 8, no floodlights at Berrington Loft that autumn night.